It's an impromptu super fight in Abu Dhabi. Dan Tom here with MMA Junkie to help you break down the main event for UFC 294 between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. Makhachev was originally slated to face Charles Oliveira for the second time, but unfortunately Oliveira sustained a nasty cut in his last session of sparring. So in steps Alexander Volkanovski, who looks like he will be the selection for Makhachev's first career rematch. Of course, Volkanovski won no rematches when you count his rematch with Max Holloway, but this is a different circumstance. This is under 11 days notice, which is the elephant in the room here. Nonetheless, you gotta tip your hat to the courage of Volkanovski. The odds makers in the public are siding with the sitting champion Makhachev in the neighborhood of minus 265 with the comeback on your underdog, Volkanovski, in the neighborhood of plus 200. I've seen the line a bit tighter despite the aforementioned 11 days notice. It does make me scratch my head a bit, though I do suspect to see more money perhaps trickle in on the favorite side for Islam Makhachev. That being said, it is difficult to kind of disagree with any of those odds, line movement, or where the money's going, etc. because I did pick Makhachev the first time around by unanimous decision. However, I'm leaning more toward Makhachev by inside the distance this time around. I hate to even say that as a huge Volkanovski fan who was rooting for my picks both this time and the time before. That being said, I do believe the shot, the check right hook that we saw, in my defense, I said it was going to be live in their first fight. It was maybe here or there. We saw it more pronounced in his next fight, down a division, of course, against Yair Rodriguez. That was the shot that kind of set things tumbling. So it is a punch for good reason that I do highlight. I do still think it will be live here, not just because Adriano Martins, knocked Islam Makhachev out many years ago with it. No, not just because of that. It's a very potent shot, especially with Volkanovski, who's got some underrated power despite his stature. So I'll go more into that, as well as why I think the early rounds will be something to look for Volkanovski. But that plan doesn't, that dangerous, jumping out of the plane at a high speed doesn't work out for Volkanovski, then I think it's going to be some rough sledding in those later rounds. So for my breakdown with gifts, more on these fighters' games, as well as intricate stats, check out my in-depth breakdown at MMAJunkie.com, where you can find your results this weekend.